greatest interviewer of all time, Dan Allen Gaming. If there's one podcast you want to hear this year, it's Dan Allen Gaming.
Dan, we've got a job to do.
Mr. Allen, I've been waiting for you, Mr. Dan Allen. Anyone who's anyone has heard of the likes of you, especially your YouTube channel. It's amazingly entertaining. Good job.
This is Geralt of Rivia, and you're watching Dan Allen Gaming. Yeah.
This is Agent 47. Subscribe to Dan Allen Gaming. He's a great guy.
I always knew we were destined for something great to happen. A lot of people want to change their cards, not me. I like the hand we've been dealt.
I'm gonna come find you, little man thing.
Dan, I knew you'd love me. Come on now, just a little taste.
Dan Allen Gaming. He's a lovely boy.
Super Dan, you number one. Woohoo!
This is Colt calling out to Dan the Animal Allen. I'm gonna break this fucking loop, or I'm gonna break your neck.
You're watching Dan Allen Gaming, and you're going to regret it.
Dan, you and I are gonna take back the universe for humanity.
We're having a problem with Metal Gear, and I need your help. So contact me by codec, damn it!
Dan Allen! You and I going dark now!
Are you being cheeky, Dan?
I'd like to keep this for close encounters.
Tune in to Dan Allen Gaming, or else I'm coming after you. You're fucking down.
I've been interviewed by Dan Allen of Dan Allen Gaming. Not to be mistaken for Van Allen. You know the belts? No, not the same guy. Not even related. Okay, Jackie out.
All the best to you. Just don't cross me.
Dan Allen Gaming, you have got to be one of the best things to come out of Australia. Did you know that? You and me, we would have been unstoppable. Anyways, outlaws for life, partner.
Your face, your ass, what's the difference?
It's okay, Dan. I know you didn't mean to hurt me.
But you shouldn't have done that. It fucking hurts!
Let's find out if Dan Allen Gaming really is the best fucking show in town.
Dan! You eat babies! Everybody knows that!
Look who's here. Michael. How are you, mate?
What's up, Dan? Hello, everybody. So nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Mate, it's a pleasure to have you on. I've been trying for a few weeks now after playing the Far Cry DLC and just reminiscing over this iconic character, man. How does it feel to be back?
It feels great. You know, that character is just such a part of me. I don't think, for me, I don't think he ever leaves, you know. He's always around. It's kind of like my spirit animal, you know. So whenever I need a little bit of Vaas in me, he just comes out. So, but not as crazy, of course, as in the game, but I just feel he's a part of me.
How can you be so nice in real life and then play this absolute psychopath?
Well, you know, I think everybody has a bit of everything. It's my belief, you know, with my lifetime, I felt that I have all the qualities that I don't like in people. I have them. For me to call somebody out on anything at all, I've always felt that I have those qualities, you know. It's Vaas calling me. Yeah.
It's Vaas calling.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But he's calling me like, don't talk about me anymore. But so I think we all have them, and I think an artist's job is to be honest with himself and to tap into them and to see what does that feel like Why does that behavior the way that it is? And to try to your job is to try to understand it and to try to justify it, which is the difficult part, because you have to find a way to justify sometimes things that are very difficult to justify, that are not very moral.
So, when was the last time you played? Like, how long ago has it been 10 years or not that long?
That what?
Since you last did anything for Vaas?
It's I think 2012 or 13. So we did Far Cry 3, the Vaas game.
Yep.
And then we did a live action movie in Thailand.
Yeah.
Which was, to me, I mean, that's the package, you know. It's the game and the movie. The movie to me really was what kind of brought the character out of the video game world, gave him a three-dimensional feel, and helped me explore a lot of the humor of the character. The humor came really through the live action, a lot more, for me anyway, than it did through the game. Yeah, and then we did the asylum scene in Montreal, I think late 2012. So it's been almost 8, 9, 10 years.
But to me, it felt like you never left. Did it feel like that to you?
I think the fans have been so wonderful, and I get people like they'll Instagram me with like tattoos of the character, and they have so many fan art of the character, and everywhere I go, I'm never sure what it is they recognize me for, but Vaas is definitely one of the top 2-3 things that I've done that people are like, that's what I know. That's where I know you from, and it's so it for me it'll always be a part of me. It's kind of the role that broke my career on an international level, and it's a character that I co-created and co-wrote. So I love it. I love him despite the fact that he's kind of crazy.
I could tell, man. I could tell you have fun just from some of the behind the scenes. I can tell you just having a blast when you're playing this character.
It was, and the DLC was, those one-liners were so much fun to improvise and to come up with. And I only last night before this interview, I haven't seen the game yet, so I kind of went online and just I haven't seen it. I haven't played it yet, but I heard some of the lines we did, and I didn't remember we did so many lines, and I heard some of them, and they actually really cracked me up. I was like, man, that's pretty funny, and I don't remember saying them because we were like, shooting. Yeah, we were shooting for hours and hours, and a lot of it was improv. So you improv something a year and a half ago, you forget about it.
I don't know this, and I think a lot of people don't know. Did you ever play Far Cry 3? Are you a gamer at all, or is that something you just watch online, or what?
No, unfortunately, I'm not a very good gamer. I think to me, my generation was when it had A and B on the Nintendo joystick, and then the moment it got it had 4 buttons, that's where I quit. I was like, I can't do this. And now it's so complicated. I don't even try.
So you're on YouTube looking up Vaas scenes, that sort of thing, if you want to see your own work.
I had someone send me something, and I was kind of looking at it, and it kind of, one thing led to another, and you go, I wonder if that scene made the game. I wonder how that scene turned out. And then you start watching it, and you go, oh God, I remember this. I remember that. I don't remember this. And it was a lot of fun. I think the Ubisoft did a great job capturing. It's beautiful. It's scary, but it's a beautiful, beautiful kind of very striking visuals.
A lot of people in here tuning in live now, I'm sure you get this a lot, but they're saying, Michael, do you know the definition of insanity? I mean, you must get sick of that by now.
No, I don't.
Really?
I love it. I do. I really like it. Look, to have a character like that, like lightning in a bottle, is a gift. And for people to love that character, to me, it's a gift. So I would never tire of it. And because I co-created the character, because he's such a part of kind of my psyche, in the sense that his sense of humor and his playfulness really stem from kind of maybe my childhood in a way. I was incredibly energetic, and I grew up with my father, and my parents were divorced, and my father was at work most of the time. So we had total freedom as children. We would play full-on soccer in the house. We would play baseball against the plaster walls. We'd play hockey in the basement. Our house was like a disaster zone, and it was such a fun time in my life. And this character kind of permits me to access that kind of like wild part in me. So I love it.
Keep your questions coming in, guys. I'll read some at the end. I've just got a few more here for Michael. When did you realize that the character was hit this iconic level? Because now anyone I talk to knows this character. Anyone that games knows who Vaas is. When, for you, did that point? Was it after the release of the game? Was it E3? When was it? Do you remember?
You know, like, that's a very good question. And that's, you know, here, this is to all actors and artists or anybody who wants to accomplish something. I was doing my career in 2000, I think this was 2008 or 9 or 10. It was before we even started working on the game. I didn't know how in the world I was going to have a career. You know, I was doing pretty good in theater, which is where I started. And then I was auditioning for film and TV, and I was getting a lot of good parts, but they were very small parts or like day players. And there's a part of you that looks at your life and you go, how am I ever going to be in a position where I can start making the movies I want to make and be in the movies I want to make? And you don't know. Life, when you're younger, looks kind of like stepping out into the night, and you just can't see further than your next step. And Vaas to me was, Vaas to me was just the next step. You know, I had an audition come in from my agent. They were looking for a guy who was like 6'7", huge guy. They wanted like all kind. They had, they were looking for somebody that was the description of the character was somebody that was. There's a picture of it on the internet, like somebody with a crooked eye and was a huge guy. Yeah, and they had like 8 accents to pick from. I think one of them was even Australian or New Zealand or something like that.
Wow, there you go.
And my agent sent me the audition. Now I had just done this thing that went on TV where I played an MS-13 on a show called The Bridge, and I had done something I think on the Border and The Bridge, 2 kind of gangster roles, they were kind of like newer roles to me, but I had done a Spanish accent on one of them. And I thought, why would they want to see me for this? Maybe they saw the episode and they think I would bring something interesting to it. So I picked Spanish accent because of thinking maybe that's why they want to see me. And when I came in, I said to myself, since I don't look anything like what they're looking for, I will just kind of improvise because I'm wrong for this anyway. They must be interested in what I have to bring in. So I started the scene. There's a video of it on YouTube, and incredibly, like I'm kind of licking my fingers like I was just eating, and then I get to the middle finger and I do this really crude gesture, and from there on I just push the limit of the scene, and the room goes really silent after I'm done, and I'm thinking they're never going to call me back. And Brent George, who was in the casting room, whispers to Andrea Kenyon, and he says something, and she looks at me and she goes, "Do it again, but go even further." And that was the beginning of Vaas for me, you know.
How do you go after that when they say go even further when you've already gone pretty far? You know what I mean? How do you go?
You can always go further, and then you can go too big, and then once you go too big, you bring it down. I think with Vaas, the idea is that at some point people love it when he goes big, and with the DLC, I was always kind of like taking the position of let's take it down, let's bring it down. Let's bring it down to a whisper. Let's get very intimate, and let's show the vulnerability of the character. In the DLC, you see a lot of the vulnerability of the character, and then once you've got all those notes, it just becomes like music. You know, you want to have the whole palette.
So we are going to get into some slight spoilers, guys. I hope you've played the DLC. It's awesome. If you haven't, maybe check back once you've beaten it. But it's so interesting to me, Michael, that in the original Far Cry 3, I've put the scenes together. It's only about 15 to 20 minutes of footage, really, compared to this DLC where you get to really. It's almost more than that Far Cry 3. Well, it is more in terms of was it more for you in the back end? It must have been more lines. More...
I think there was definitely a lot more lines, you know, especially throughout the game. You got to do a lot of those one-liners and the breathing and and all that kind of stuff. And we wanted those. We were, you know, for me, it was always about like, okay, we've innovated kind of like the franchise with Vaas, and we've changed. We've brought a lot of to the gaming community that was different, where they were hiring now actors that look like their characters instead of what it was before, which was they would have an actor do the body and then an actor kind of mimic a face that was based on another face that they've designed, and then a third actor would come in and do the lines. Now we had this one guy who was doing everything, who was literally in the game. So he was the character. So that was very revolutionary. And then, especially for that culture at the time over there, I'm not saying, no one did it in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was we were having the technology catch up to what we wanted to do in the blocking. We had cameras with wires, and because it hampered the movements, Ubisoft kind of broke off the shooting schedule so that the cameras could catch up and they could be wireless cameras. And this time around, what we wanted to do is we wanted to capture kind of like an incredible intimate sense in the studio of the voice recorded lines, because you get like mocap lines, which is full body voice, and then you've got the voice stuff,
which is just booth traditionally,
which is just booth. And usually in the booth, the way you do it is you have a camera and you got to remove all your clothes and your jewelry and everything because you hear everything, and then you kind of stand by the camera, by the mic, and you deliver it. So we thought, what can we do here that's different? So what we did is we used 3 mics. We used the mic, then we used a lav mic that was connected on me, and then we had a boom operator. So what I was actually doing for the vocal lines was we were moving. So those lines
I've never
had movement.
heard of that before.
I don't know if I don't think they've ever done it at Ubisoft. It was one of the things the engineers and I were talking. We're going, I don't want it to sound fake. I don't want it to just sound like I'm just standing there. Some lines require movement. Some lines require physicality, and it kind of changes the
feeling.
The color of the color of the voice it's very subtle, but you can feel it. So we did that, and those things took like burning on fire and getting bit by a tiger. And
of course, I forgot you've got all those death scenes, technically death scenes that you got to do. You wouldn't have done that before, have you? They're called efforts.
No, I haven't. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, those things were draining, man. They were like, you do it like 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
That's at the end of the session, yeah? Tell me.
Well, we had, I think, like 2 to 4 days that were dedicated just for that. And then we had about 4 days that were dedicated for, maybe not 4, maybe 2. I can't remember really. Yeah. But it was between 2 and 4 that were voice stuff. And then we had about 4 days for mocap, maybe a day or 2 of rewriting and rehearsal, and then 2 days of shooting everything. We were literally being pulled off of the floor, on our last day. I mean, literally, like the producer was coming down and goes, "Guys, we have no more money. Get out of the mocap thing. You're done. Whatever we have, that's what we're using."
Oh, that's fantastic, man. Why did it take so long though? Like I've been waiting for this for years, man. Was it just the right script or right people? What?
With a character like that, you don't want to just bring him back to bring him back.
Yeah.
I've had an ideas like that last scene in the DLC. I wrote that 8-9 years ago.
Is that an Easter egg? Sorry to cut you off. Is that tennis ball? Is that an Easter egg, like that ending or not? Do you know what I mean?
It kind of is. I mean, the tennis ball is so symbolic because the real Vaas fans know that when I did the Vaas insanity,
that's what I mean.
Definition of insanity monologue was to the tennis ball.
Is that a throwback or?
It is. Yeah, it is. It's an inside. It's kind of going like that's his moment. That was always his best friend, and it's sort of a wink to the fans because Vaas didn't really do the monologue in the game to a tennis ball. He did it to Jason. But with Vaas, what I really liked about this DLC is we started breaking the fourth wall and taking him out of the video game in the same way that we broke the fourth wall when we did the live action movie. So it's a character that lives sort of almost in real life and in the video game at the same time. And he basically doesn't follow any rules, not even the rules of the narration, which is what makes him so intriguing to me,
Tell me you're exploring a movie or another game, man. I mean, you must be. Please.
I know the fans been asking for it for a while, and I've been teasing about it. And the truth is, I have something written. I have something written that I really like, Whether or not we'll do it, that all depends on. We haven't really had those conversations in depth. I've spoken about it to Ubisoft a few times. They've responded a few times, but we've never really sat down and talked about it. I think a lot of it will depend on the fans. I have this script. It could be adaptable to Vaas or to another character. I'd like to do it as Vaas. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and we'll see. I think if the fans really ask for it, it gives us a better case with Ubisoft. If not, maybe we'll see. But I have to say, I really enjoy working with Ubisoft, and I think they're an incredible company, and we'll see.
Would you prefer any medium over another? Would you prefer film over a game for this script? Does it suit a specific medium, or?
To be frank with you, I think there's a because this character is so unique in the sense that he does work on a video game. That's proven, and it does work on the live action, and that's proven.
Yep.
And that translates really well, and that's a big rarity, for something in a video game to work in the film and TV. So the reality is there's a potential for a big kind of, a bigger picture thing where you could have potentially both. But here's the thing, if it's done, it has to be done really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to me, the idea would be to back it up a little bit and to do an origin thing, very much, especially now that to back it up a little bit. I think you go back even before the scar, before the haircut. You go back and you try to get him at that stage where you can start simmering and you can start building,
and then finish it at the scar or something like that around.
Yeah, or the island could be the middle. It doesn't have to be the end.
Yeah. Right, oh man.
So I've got ideas. We'll see. It's we'll see.
Can you get this made just for me, brother?
I'll shoot it here. I'll shoot it here just for you and send you some videos.
Thank you, man. So he is alive, right? Have we got that straight? Vaas is alive now?
I believe he is, yeah. I don't think... I mean, from my understanding of it...
It was a hallucination. Well,
it's like when you're so infused in your mind and you've got so much psychedelics and you got so much drugs and concepts, it's really hard to tell, to have a kind of linear sense of anything that's real. It's like some people sometimes they'll do, you'll hear them talk about a trip and they can't remember how they got from like their room to the store. That whole part is kind of like they can't remember it.
Yeah, it's not.
But I think with Vaas, but life is kind of like that.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, like, let's say you're 20 years old. Could you touch or feel 20 years old? Like,
No.
Could you say this feels like this is 20? You can't.
I can't touch yesterday.
You can't. And then your memories, right? Like, if you look at your memories. Could you tell the difference between the dream that you had yesterday and a memory from childhood or a memory you had like 3 years ago? They all kind of seem to occupy more or less the same kind of weight in your mind. And then we give them emotional value and stuff. And then we realize that with time, our memories, every time we revisit them, start to change. And they become kind of what we think they were as opposed to what they really were. Now, you take that and you like, times 1,000. That's where Vaas is,
Yeah. All right, let's read some of these live messages. Drive-by commentator, massive ups, Michael. I remember the Insanity speech. It gave me chills when I first saw it. I wish Vaas and Hoyt switch places as the end boss. Okay, thank you, Drive-by. Bob Lob, hey Dan, can you ask Michael to check his pockets for any knives? Someone could have planted one on him in the subway.
Yeah. No, not this one. There's nothing. Let me check this out. No, not on this one. No. I heard Elias still has a little bit of pain from that wound that I gave him. Poor little guy, weak guy.
Mattias, great show, Dan. Michael, is there any character, past or present, from any movie, film, or video game you would have liked to portray?
I have a very kind of particular approach with that kind of situation. I don't look at anything thinking I wish that was mine. Or because the moment somebody does it, it's theirs, and that's it. I just, you move on. So there isn't something like that. There are a lot of characters that I find really interesting that I'd be like, that would be an interesting character to take. But it's always with the idea of doing it my own and kind of like infusing of it, my perception of it. It's never with the idea of like, I want to do it the way they did it in that movie. You know what I mean?
I got to say, man, when I watched Spider-Man Homecoming in the theater, I didn't know you were in it until the end there, and I got a real surprise. Like, I was like, yeah. And then I haven't seen you since, man. You got it. When are they getting you back in?
We'll see. There was a great scene in the middle of that film, and John Watts, the director, they were cutting it, and he wrote me when they were cutting that scene. He was telling me how fun that scene was. It's too bad that they cut it, but
so you shot it. You shot it.
There's a scene in the middle of the film that was really fun that we did, and then the end credit was a last minute thing that was done. And to be frank with you, that whole thing was voiceover. We were in an actual prison in Atlanta, and the people that were in the prison were rioting. What? That was like
You're joking.
All the lips moving. That wasn't
even Michael Keaton.
I believe, I can't speak for Michael, but for this Michael, yes, it was the whole thing was dubbed. We couldn't hear. We heard people were screaming and stuff while we were doing the scene. So it was an interesting experience. Every time I look at it and I go, man, none of that dialogue is like actual organic of the day. It was all dubbed after.
Now I have to watch it again to see.
Yeah. But it was fun, man. I think Marvel is an incredible company, and John Watts and Tom Holland and all those guys are fantastic. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, I'm hoping you're in the next one, but I know you can't say anything. But man, I'm praying, or if not this one, upcoming. Hey, I'm sure you're looking forward to it, eh?
I can't say anything.
The movie, I mean. You're looking forward to the movie, yeah.
I watched those films. I really enjoy them.
Yeah.
I thought the last one with Jake Gyllenhaal was really fun.
Yeah.
And the new one sounds. I thought the Spider-Verse cartoon. Am I saying it right? Is it Multiverse?
Yeah. The
I thought that was fantastic.
With Miles Morales. Yeah, that was phenomenal.
I thought that was so good. I thought that was like one of the best cartoons I've ever seen.
Oh.
I saw it 2 or 3 times, to be frank. I was just like blown away by it. So I'm excited to see what they do in this one.
DJ, hey, I'm sure if you know there's a post-credit scene in Far Cry 6 kind of confirming Vaas is alive. Oh, right. In Far Cry 6, you got that at the end. Was that like a tease to the DLC in a way, or was that, what was the objective of that specific credit?
I think it's just to kind of wink at the audience and say, look, this character is still around.
Yeah.
And I to me, the DLC is a wink to the audience. I mean, to be frank, this is a DLC. It's not a game. It's kind of like it's like you go to the restaurant and you have all these plates that people have been working on, and the menu is all done, and then the chef has this idea that he wants to try, and he hasn't really worked on it very much. He just wants to see the reaction of the people. So it's
new
like
recipe.
A little hors d'oeuvre, Yeah, you're like, I liked it. Yeah, sure, go work on that. You know what I mean? To me, that's what the DLC was.
Man, I'm loving your metaphors, analogies today.
Right.
You're on point.
Because to me, the character, if I was to go visit it again, it wouldn't be in the same. It wouldn't be in the same fashion. It wouldn't be just to kind of like more of that. It'll be to bring it way back, and then to start it small, and then to make it way bigger at the end and mean something. So there's a lot of ideas there. That's where my interest is who was this guy before the Mohawk, before the injury, before he completely lost his mind? Because he's definitely incredibly smart, and he's a formidable kind of military type guy or agent or something. We'll see. So I don't want to talk too much, but we'll see.
Paulie D, massive props to Michael on Vaas and on Better Call Saul. Absolutely killing it, mate. The fact that Vaas only has around 15 minutes of dialogue and his presence dominated the game is a testament to his skill, which I agree, Paulie. I agree.
Thank you so much. You know, to young actors out there, you know, they say there are no small parts, and to some degree, that's actually very true. You know, I think I've made my career on taking very little screen time and infusing it with a lot of meaning, and that's something I think that works very well for life in general. That I've learned through acting is look at the opportunity in what you're given. You know, don't focus on, you know, it goes back to the question that you've asked me about, like, are there anything that I wish I could do or whatever, or any characters that have done that I say I could do that. I think to me that the healthiest approach is to take what you have. You know, even if you're in a game and you know you're going to lose the game, but you're on the court and you've got like 3 minutes left, you know, make that the best 3 minutes that you've ever played, because that's your chance. That's those are the 3 minutes you get. Make your teammates around you as good as they can be. Make your coaches be as good as you can be, and have the fans enjoy those 3 minutes, because tomorrow's not guaranteed, and those 3 minutes might be the only 3 minutes you'll ever have. So don't lament on what you don't have, but make the best of what you have, and use the negative as a way to flip the negative into a positive. I mean, there's so many times in my career, so many times where you're just despairing because you're going, God, this is
being
never
rejected,
gonna.
Yeah,
Everything. You're being rejected. You don't feel like you're being treated fairly. You don't like the stuff that you're being handed out. Some stuff is not in your control, and you get in a situation where you just want to quit. You're just like, I don't want to do this anymore because the world isn't responding to what I'm trying to do the way I want to do it, or the people at hand aren't giving me the opportunity that I want. And then you say, no, I'm not going to think like this. I'm going to be grateful for everything that I have. If it's one slice of pizza, I'll be grateful for that one slice of pizza. And I'll eat it in a way that I'll enjoy it more than if it was, you know, the most expensive meal. And I've did a living doing that, going like, no, I'm not going to,
That's amazing.
You know what I mean?
Advice,
So
man. I
mean, it's true, you know, and it's the truth. You know, when I was in Toronto, when I was living in Toronto, I was living in a like little kind of place that was literally, I had a cot, you know, like a little bed that was like on plastic, and I had a little old TV and a VHS right in front of me, and there was no room, so the drawers, when you'd open the drawers, they'd hit the bed, and that was my house, and that was some of the most fun times I've ever had in my life, because I was going to like Dundas Square in Toronto at like 3 a.m. and I would sit by the lights and I'd read acting books. And I thought I was so happy, because I was like, all I need. And then I'd recite Shakespeare, and I was in love with what I was doing and making the best of what I had. And I was truly happy. So I learned that lesson through that time.
Are you still in love with the craft? It seems like you are.
You know, you fall in and out of love.
Yeah.
Every time I'm working, yes. Sometimes when I'm not working, sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this. Yeah, sometimes I don't like it. But it's normal. It's a love-hate relationship. You know, you always want to get better. You always want to get deeper, and sometimes you need a break from it. Like when I watch stuff like on Better Call Saul, sometimes the pressure of the character is so heavy that you need to get away. You want to get away. You just don't want to deal with it anymore, because it seeps into your organs and your bones, and it's like you literally feel it in your body like days and weeks after you've done it, or leading up to it, knowing that, fuck, I gotta be in that situation. And for me, you know, I take such a sense of responsibility. I don't want to half-ass it. So I really want to dive deep into it. And sometimes it can get tiring, but you learn.
I respect that, man.
But you learn. You learn not to.
Yeah. Better Call Saul, I haven't seen the show. Don't kill me, Michael, please. All right. It's on my list.
If someone says to me, and this is going to sound crazy, but if someone says to me they don't watch TV, I say good for you. You know, I don't think TV's bad, but I think the real world is more interesting. TV is good for me. It's like camping around the fire and learning more about life and how to behave and discovering characters, so then you can go out and live your life. But don't make your life entertainment, you know.
I'm very picky with my shows. I'm definitely going to watch it eventually. Is there anything you can say about season 7? And you just tell me if because I'm ignorant. Is there anything you can tell us about Better Call Saul, or what's to come, or are you shooting, or anything you can say at all?
Yeah, I can tell you that these are incredible writers. Vince Gilligan's back. He's in the writers' room. He's directing, and Peter and Thomas and everybody's there. So the whole team's back. The whole cast is back.
Wow.
I heard that the season 6 was divided in 2 parts. It's going to air in 2022, I believe. First part is going to air in the first quarter. That's what they're aiming of 2022. It starts off exactly where we left off, and I think it's by far our best season. You know, from the stuff that I've read and that I've done, it just hits the ground running. I mean, literally, and you're just like turning the pages and you're going, holy shit. It's like, you know, that's what they do. These guys, they bring
How
back
do they
the
do
elastic.
It's unreal.
You know what it is? Slowly. That's kind of what I was going back to the Vaas origin story.
Just taking your
go
time
back,
and letting it breathe a little bit.
letting it breathe, and then go back and start putting like the breaks down very, very, very slowly. Going like, okay, I know where we're gonna end up. Like, you know, with Vaas, you know, he's got to end up sometime on the island, and this is what he's like there.
Yeah.
How do you back that up as much as you can, and then find the most interesting way and the most realistic and original and unique way to get there? And what those guys do is they take their time. You know, they watch characters and actors, and they see what they're doing, and they kind of adjust their writing a little bit, and then they come back and it's like what's that game where you put all the wooden cubes?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The name's I've forgotten the name, but I know exactly
it's
what
like
you mean.
that.
Yeah,
it's like that. You know, they put those cubes up very, very, very carefully.
Jenga.
Yeah,
is that it?
like
yeah,
that. And then at the end they just remove that one tube, and everything just and that's season 6. Everything just goes boom. You know?
Wow, is season 6 the final season? I don't know.
Yes.
It is.
Yes, yeah, that's our final season.
So you've shot your final scene.
We're still shooting until February. So we're still I think we're gonna still shooting until early January.
Okay, cool. Couple more because
we're not particularly shooting in sequence. So,
no.
If you see somebody like, you know, not in New Mexico, and you think, oh, this should be episode 10, that's not the way it is.
No,
we could be shooting episode 10 at the beginning, and then shooting episode 3 at the end. So
it doesn't mean your character's dead. Okay, come on, guys.
It doesn't mean anything. You know, that's something. With those guys, trust me, they keep everything very secretive, and you can't tell what's going on.
Yeah. Couple more questions because I know you got to bounce, mate. We really appreciate your time. Quickly, Eddie here says, with technology progressing so much in video games, with actors being able to come on set and be fully captured, do you believe Hollywood could get more involved in interactive storytelling? That's from Eddie. Good question.
Absolutely. That's a very good question, and I think so. I think they've tried it many times to have these movies where you kind of get to a point and you have 2-3 decisions to make. I don't think it's been very successful, but I do know from what I heard is that Netflix is investing into a video game kind of part, or I'm not exactly sure the details.
Yep.
So yes, I do think interactive is definitely the future. You know, and you know. That whole technology is going to push, I think, cinema, or I don't think it's going to change cinema right away, but I think it's going to open up new avenues of the way you could tell a story. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how, but we'll see.
Can I ask, has a celebrity ever come up to you and known of your work in Far Cry, or has that never happened?
Yeah, you know, I was cast in Orphan Black.
Yeah,
John Fawcett, you know, he was a fan of Far Cry 3.
Wow.
And sometimes, yeah, you have a lot of athletes and people who play video games who absolutely love that character.
That's surreal. That must be surreal.
Yeah.
Last one. Who cares? Greetings from Romania, Michael. Just wanted to say I love your work. I can't wait to see you in the next season of Better Call Saul and maybe the MCU. That's from Who Cares. Michael.
Thank you.
Michael, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, brother. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Make sure you follow Michael, guys, on Instagram, Twitter. Where else are you, Michael? Anywhere else? Is that it? That's enough. That'll keep you busy enough. And then any other upcoming projects we should know about? Play the Far Cry DLC, watch Better Call Saul. Anything else? Music?
We're working on stuff. Yes, I am. Actually, I'm working on something I'd like to release early next year. And music is just a hobby. It's like my it really is a hobby. Yeah,
passion project.
It's like a hobby. It's like, I would say acting is my wife and music is my mistress. But they're the same. They're the same. They're the same girl. They're the same person.
It's just different personalities or something.
Role playing. That's all it is.
Man, you got a beautiful voice too. Not to get steamy in here, but
thank you. I appreciate it.
No.
Thank you, bro.
Awesome, man. Oh, I look forward to having you back when you're in Far Cry 7. How does that sound?
Thank you for having me, Dan. It's a real pleasure meeting you and speaking with you. And to everybody watching, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, guys. Take care, Michael.
Take care, my friend.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy. But the first time somebody told me that, I don't know, I thought they were bullshitting me, so boom, I shot them. The thing is, okay, he was right. And then I started seeing it everywhere I looked. Everywhere I looked, all these fucking pricks. Everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing. Over and over and over and over and over again. Thinking, this time, it's gonna be different. No, please. This time, it's gonna be different. I'm sorry. I don't like the way you are looking at me. Okay? You have a fucking problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? Fuck you! Okay? Fuck you! It's okay, man. I'm gonna chill here, man. I'm gonna chill. The thing is, alright? The thing is, I killed you once already. And it's not like I am fucking crazy. It's okay. It's like water under the bridge. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Oh, Jesus. No.
Oh, fuck you!
There you have it, everybody. Michael Mando. That was a special one for me. That was a tough one to get. But with your help, we got him on. And that's not an easy interview to set up, guys. So I really appreciate your tuning in. Vaas from Far Cry. Michael Mando, everybody. Did you enjoy that one? I know it was only a shorter one for us. 30 minutes or so we got with him. But man, he's a really great guy. We got a lot in. We talked about Spider-Man, we talked about Better Call Saul, Vaas, he gave us a bit of an exclusive, really, about that he's written a script. I mean, you're going to be seeing that on IGN and news, unless he said that before. I don't know if he has, but we're going to be seeing that in the news cycle. I love getting these little scoops. Andrew Johnson, Kisma, Who Cares? B. Vargas, The Northern Nerdcast, Sylvia, Carolina, Sanjana, Squidward, Just Vincent. That was cool, you enjoyed it? Troy Baker, I've already had him on. I've already had Troy Baker, but no. When the next two Far Cry DLCs come out, I'm looking forward to getting those two on. Now, guys, I'm going to pass it over to my news correspondent, Alan Daniels. As you know, my name is Dan Allen, but my news correspondent is Alan Daniels. Let's see what Alan Daniels is up to. Is my mic on? Is my mic on? Yeah, it is? Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Breaking News with Alan Daniels. I'm Alan Daniels.
Let's get straight into the news. Our first story, the Vaas Insanity DLC has come out. As you just saw, my friend Dan interviewed the man himself on that cover, and you'll be able to play that right now, as well as Control and Collapse with Joseph Seed and Pagan Min. Hopefully we'll see interviews with them soon. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Our second story, Battlefield. The user score is quite low, unfortunately, with 2.7, 2.6, 4.3. Just a lot of problems with Battlefield and EA. What are they going to do about Battlefield? I don't know. And our final story, Spider-Man is coming and is in the Avengers game, an incredible game where you fight robots over and over with the same skills, and now we get to play as Spider. There's lots of story mission, no story missions. Sorry, what do you actually do then? We don't know. Anyway, let's chuck over to our weatherman, Jeremy Longbottom. Jeremy, are you there? Jeremy, can you hear me?
Hey, Allens. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. That is crazy.
Why are you so happy about that? You're in the island. I think you're
When
on...
somebody first told me that, I thought they were joking, okay? The thing is, Allens, they were right. Everywhere I went, everybody I saw, they were doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, thinking this time's going to be different.
You're a little bit
This
crazy there,
time
Jeremy.
Is going to be different.
Jeremy, you're speaking the same sort of tongue as you're talking about. You're really scaring me, Jeremy.
I'm sorry, Allens. I don't really like the way you're looking at me, the way you're talking to me, okay? Look, it's like, let's just get back to the weather, okay?
Yeah, that sounds great. Please do. Go ahead.
Did I ever tell you the
for
definition
fuck's sake.
of insanity? Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over again, okay? That is crazy. That is crazy, okay?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you?
Yeah, he's lost the plot, everybody. Jeremy Longbottom. He's taken too many mushrooms. I don't know why we keep hiring this weatherman when he stuffs up every... Can someone get a new weather? And Gary the Zen Guru. Gary, are you there?
Thanks, Dan. I think it's really important that we remain free of stress and anxiety in these trying times. And there's a mower that keeps fucking mowing out the side, and it's like the 50th time I've tried to film this.
Gary, aren't you a Zen Guru? Shouldn't you be in more of a Zen state?
Lines and I know it's not good enough. I couldn't.
Gary, you're live on air. Gary, please. Gary? We got some technical difficulties here, guys, with Gary the Zen Guru.
Remain
Gary.
free of stress and anxiety in these trying times.
Thank you, Jeremy. That is going to be it for Breaking News with Alan Daniels. I'm Alan Daniels. I'll see you next time. There you have it, guys. That is Alan Daniels with the news. I just realized he looks a lot like me, Alan Daniels, doesn't he? Wow. Could you invite Russell Richardson on the show? He was in Advanced Warfare, World War II, and Vanguard. Since he played... Oh, excuse me, he did too. Pad, he did too. Now that I remember that. Wow. I mean, I'd love to get him on at some point. That'd be great. For sure. Special news, Dan. Privateer, good one, mate. You should have asked Michael to say hello and welcome to Dan's show. Yeah, no, look, pretty strict for time, so I wanted to get some of the super chats in. Everyone that gave a super chat, thanks. Try to get in as many as possible. And to be honest, look, we've got such a good opening reel now with so many actors. Like, I'm not too fussed about that now. It would have been good. I think we're going to get him back on the show again at some point, Michael, down the line. My Philip Ross, Hitman the Constant, is your Michael Mando. Had some leeway and he's coming, but not sure when. Very sporadic in responses. Yeah, exactly. Jane Perry, nice, mate. She's fantastic. Jericho, who's next? Look, I'm going to start reaching out to the Halo Infinite voice actors. Steve Downs, Jen Taylor, Bruce Thomas. All the voice actors in Halo. I will be getting a review code of the game. I will have content up for that campaign as we head into launch. But for now, I'm actually playing through Returnal, which is a phenomenal game. Really enjoying it. I don't know if you guys have played it, PS5. So I'm smashing that out at the moment. Got a couple of Resident Evil videos, but then it's going to be one hell of a year, guys, after Halo. I mean, we've got Elden Ring, we've got Dying Light 2, Horizon, God of War. Oh man, I'd love that God of War cast on. Wouldn't that be good? Ooh, ooh. You never know. We will try. Christopher Judge is that man. He is a phenomenal. I'm saying phenomenal a lot. He's a great actor, so I'd love to have him on. And whatever you guys want to see. I mean, whatever the latest game is, I try to get him on. I know a lot of people wanted me to do the Guardians of the Galaxy cast, which I might actually do over December. We'll see. I've got to play the game first. I haven't played the game much. A couple of hours, but... yeah, who do you want to see? You let me know. Maybe he's my brother. Yeah, Alan Daniels. He could be my twin. Aussie Captain Price looks like Dan Allen too. Oh, man. Aussie Captain Price, man. Do you know that there's a video of Bravo 6 going dark? You know, the classic line of Barry Sloane's Captain Price, right? Bravo 6 going dark. There's a video on Facebook with all the languages, which I put together, but someone's ripped it, put it on YouTube, Facebook. 3 million views, and it's got my Aussie one in it. And all the comments are like laughing their heads off at the Aussie one. No credit. No credit, man. 3 million people heard that. I couldn't believe it when someone tagged me in it. So funny. YouTube dislike button. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. And I don't think anyone likes it. Let's be honest. Why would they do that? Even look, I get some videos that are disliked. And it's good feedback. It's good to know, you know, people aren't unhappy with you for that video, or they disagreed. I've never cared about if I have a video with, you know, 20%, 10% dislikes. I don't really care. But sometimes it's a good indicator if the video's good. A lot of the time it is. Although when you put out The Last of Us Part 2 content, you're probably going to get hit with a dislike no matter what. In that sense, it's annoying, but you know what I mean? It's I don't like it. I don't know about you guys. I don't like it. Do you think Mark
Lucifer and Joseph Seed, and Seamus, John Cena ever does this sort of thing, like doing interviews. I don't know, man. Games like that, Far Cry 5, it's sort of not old enough or not new enough for me to sort of cover it, if you know what I mean. I'm sticking to the newer games, newer titles for now. I mean, let's look at next year. I mean, you've got God of War, you've got Horizon, Elden Ring, right? You got Hogwarts Legacy. Who knows who's in that? You got Gotham Knights, good cast there. Batman, Robin, Deathstroke, you name it. Avatar game, Suicide Squad game, good cast there. You know, there's a lot to dive into next year, guys. It's going to be fantastic. And I want to mix the show up a little bit. Give it a refresh. We'll probably take a break after Halo and then reset for 2022. I wonder if Michael, Mando, and Giancarlo Esposito. So I actually specifically left that question out, Andrew, because he's answered it a bunch of times. The answer is he has spoken to him about it, and they had a good little chat. When he answered it both times, he never really went into detail, so I just left that question out. I'm very specific with the questions I asked, trying to get new information from interviews, stuff that we haven't heard. You know, I really try, because he's done interviews. It's like Kevin Conroy. It feels like everyone's asked him everything, right? I tried to give him some questions that he hadn't heard at least in a while, or had to think about, and I think I achieved that with Kevin and a few of the other guys that I get on. And Michael, Michael even said, "Great question." Yeah, that's what you want to hear when you're doing an interview. You want to, if they say that's a great question, you're doing your job, aren't you? So, by the way, you're getting better and better at the interviews. Thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You'd hope I'd get better after 70. That's right. I've done 70 this year. 70. Let that sink in. That's one every 3 or 4 days. And not to mention the emails and the setup, you know. I think when Resident Evil Village came out, I was doing one a day nearly. If you remember that. That was so fun. Can't wait to get those guys on again. Remember we got that DLC for Village. We got Resident Evil 4 Remake possibly next year. I mean, it's a phenomenal year coming up. I can't wait. Big year. Thanks, Kisma. You're an icon. Who cares, Kisma? Andrew, you guys have been around. You know, Northern Nerdcast. So sad. Founder of YouTube didn't like it either. Yeah, it's like, what if we don't like what if, a company comes out with a game, we don't like it, or we don't, I don't know, there's something we don't, how are we supposed to express that now? You know? What if you're getting catfished in a way, like someone puts a tutorial up of how to get better internet or whatever it is? You can't dislike it if it's absolute crap. It's just not good. Coca-Cola's probably pretty happy they got rid of dislikes. Yeah, exactly, man. Destroyer, man, you've actually finally woken up, big man. Hey, I'm about to go to bed. Can't wait for Elden Ring. Me too, man. Get Melina from Elden Ring. Is that the woman at the start? Have you ever played any of the Dead Space games, Bob? I sure have, and I look forward to playing them again in the lead up to the remake, which I will be comparing the two. That'll be fun. Phenomenal. Someone get a phenomenal check. How many times I've said it. Next year will be the best year in gaming in a while. I agree. Who cares? I 100% agree, mate. Game of the year, guys. It Takes Two. I think it'll get it.
Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year awards. Just for this song. Maybe you can do the GTA trilogy, man. It ain't happening. I'm not giving that time the time of day anymore, man. That game is fucked. Good luck getting Samuel L. Jackson on as well and some of the cast there. That's crazy. It would be funny if you got Ashley Birch on when Tiny Tina launches. Is she Tiny Tina? Are you joking? So she's got that and Horizon. Wow. Congrats on the IMDb page. Said it before, but for the ones with didn't know, you are now a big deal. Thanks, man. Thanks, Rena. Yeah, 70. Did you believe that? That's a lot. The whole cast of Village were awesome. Oh, they were. I've been here since the Bruce Thomas interview. Time flies. Hey, guess what? Who cares? That's the first one I ever did, man. Let's give a round of applause for Who Cares. Who's been here since the start. Well done, mate. Yeah, Bruce Thomas was the first ever interview. So I did Bruce Thomas and I did James C. Burns in the same day, if you remember. You go back and the interview still holds up. I mean, I look a bit different, a bit off. The setup's not as good, you know, the usual stuff. But the interview is still a bit of fun. If you go back, it still holds. It's only a year ago. I mean, I haven't changed that much. Yeah, that was the first one, and we're going to come full circle because we're getting him back on for Halo because he did the motion capture for Master Chief. So I thought we'd get him back on. Should be a lot of fun. We missed out on Todd Soley, the only one I didn't get through. Literally the entire cast of Village came on the show. Best, you know, in terms of interviews, they were the most viewed by a mile that I've ever done. Maggie Robertson, Lady D is still the #1 interview. It's 300,000 views. I mean, it's crazy stuff for an interview like that. Just, there's nothing really to it. I mean, I try to make a spectacle, but at the end of the day, it's a interview. It's a one-on-one, and wow. I wonder if we'll ever beat it. I wonder if there'll ever be a character that can top that. You know what I mean? It's going to be tough. Hey, Dog Boy, how are you, man? Good to see you in here. How you been? Joseph Ferris will take that speech. He will. I think it's his year. It Takes Two. So, look, I want Resident Evil Village to win. You guys know that. I love the game. But I think It Takes Two. It's its year. It's a game that keeps co-op alive. Couch co-op. You know, a lost art form. Joseph Ferris has a history with Jeff. It makes sense that it will get it. We'll see. Are you nervous that you're going to interview one of the best villains in history? Jaden, unfortunately, I've already interviewed him, mate. I don't get nervous, no. I actually really enjoy it. I have a lot of fun. I don't get nervous. The most nervous I've ever been for an interview was actually one that I didn't do for this channel. It was for a movie director that I'd done before. And it wasn't even a big director. You guys wouldn't even know who it is. I was quite nervous for that one. But after that, I've been better. Off to play the Mafia 2 remaster. You enjoying it, mate? Yeah, look, guys, I'm heading off too, so I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. Stay tuned for all the other content. And let's play the opener one more time. I mean, I love this opener. It never gets old. All right, guys. I'm going to have a sleep. It's 8 a.m. here. I'm yet to sleep. All right, guys. Take care. Editor. Editor.
The greatest interviewer of all time. Dan Allen Gaming. If there's one podcast you want to hear this year, it's Dan Allen Gaming.
Dan, we've got a job to do.
Mr. Allen, I've been waiting for you, Mr. Dan Allen. Anyone who's anyone has heard of the likes of you, especially your YouTube channel. It's amazingly entertaining. Good job.
This is Geralt of Rivia, and you're watching Dan Allen Gaming. Yeah.
This is Agent 47. Subscribe to Dan Allen Gaming. He's a great guy.
I always knew we were destined for something great to happen. A lot of people want to change their cards, not me. I like the hand we've been dealt.
I'm gonna come find you, little man thing.
Dan, I knew you'd love me. Come on now, just a little taste.
Dan Allen Gaming. He's a lovely boy.
Super Dan, you number one. Woohoo!
This is Colt calling out to Dan the Animal Allen. I'm gonna break this fucking loop, or I'm gonna break your neck.
You're watching Dan Allen Gaming, and you're going to regret it.
Dan, you and I are gonna take back the universe for humanity.
We're having a problem with Metal Gear, and I need your help. So contact me by codec, damn it!
Dan Allen! You and I going dark now!
Are you being cheeky, Dan?
I'd like to keep this for close encounters.
Tune in to Dan Allen Gaming, or else I'm coming after you. You're fucking down.
I've been interviewed by Dan Allen of Dan Allen Gaming. Not to be mistaken for Van Allen. You know the belts? No, not the same guy. Not even related. Okay, Jackie out.
All the best to you. Just don't cross me.
Dan Allen Gaming, you have got to be one of the best things to come out of Australia. Did you know that? You and me, we would have been unstoppable. Anyways, how lost for life, partner?
Your face, your ass, what's the difference?
It's okay, Dan. I know you didn't mean to hurt me.
But you shouldn't have done that. It fucking hurts!
Let's find out if Dan Allen Gaming really is the best fucking show in town.
Dan! You eat babies! Everybody knows that!